Uruguay, a great place to get a taste of Europe and South America. But don't let the small size fool you. Crammed between two Latin American giants, Brazil and Argentina, this little country packs a cultural punch all its own. Get ready, we're about to explore the not-so-sleepy side of Uruguay.
Travel. For some, it's a luxurious escape, or maybe an adrenaline-filled adventure. But if you're like me, it's a precious opportunity to discover and to give back. It's time to get real. It's time to get raw. It's time for RawTravel.
Down south, way down south in Latin America is Uruguay. It's one of the smallest countries in South America, but it's got a lot going on. Uruguay is a great place to get lost and enjoy a taste of Europe and South America. With a population of over 3 million, almost 2 million live in its capital, Montevideo. The Spanish settlers arrived to the land now called Uruguay back in the early 1500s, where they encountered the native indigenous people. Today, Uruguay is a blossoming country with a historic yet modern capital city that, unlike most others in South America, is not clogged with noisy traffic and overcrowded conditions. In fact, it's pretty easy to get around. Outside of Montevideo, there are tranquil towns with historic colonial sites, rural landscapes, and beaches that can range from the remote to the glitzy and glamorous. Uruguay is a must-stop for raw travelers.
When you're traveling to the south of Latin America, a must-stop is Montevideo, Uruguay. It's a metropolitan city with diverse cultures, rich history, and most importantly, when you're finished with the sightseeing, beaches where you can chill.
Known as La Rambla, the beach area runs from Ciudad Vieja, the historic old city, to the more modern eastern part of Montevideo. The beaches are clean, easy to get to, and are a great place to jog or just hang out and soak up some down south sun.
At first glance, one could easily confuse Uruguay's culture and heritage as a smaller replica of nearby Argentina. Though there are similarities, Uruguay's culture is very distinct from that of its larger neighbor to the west. In the early 1800s, Uruguay won its independence from several nations such as Portugal, Spain, Brazil, and Argentina. When you visit Montevideo today, you'll see, hear, and taste cultural influences from each of these countries, blended together for a combination of culture as unique as any in South America.
Montevideo is flooded with parrillas, or grills, and they are a meat lover's haven. I stopped by the world-famous Mercado del Puerto for a little snack.
In Uruguay, they're serious about their meat.
I ordered a mixed plate of meat that was so big I didn't know where to start. There were great cuts of beef, chicken, and pork, alongside less savory items like glands, intestines, and blood sausage. Sure hope my vegan friends aren't watching. Montevideo is pretty easy to navigate, but it's always good to have a local to show you around. So I met up with my good friend Camilo to get an insider's tour.
Hey, Camilo, what's up, man? How are you, brother? All right, man, you're gonna show me around Montevideo, right? Sure. All right, let's check it out.
Camilo and I met at Plaza Independencia, smack in the middle of the Ciudad Vieja.
So, Camilo, earlier I saw people getting in their water from here. Is this water drinkable?
Yes, go.
It's safe. It's safe. All right, I'm gonna try. That is good.
Now you die.
Completed in 1925, the Palacio Salvo stands tall and is one of the main symbols of Montevideo. Just down the block is the legendary theater, Teatro Solís. Everywhere I went, I saw these cool teacups being sold. I guess it's because Uruguayans love drinking yerba buena tea, better known as mate.
Esto es una matera. Acá llevamos el termo,
thermos.
la hierba,
Okay.
el equipo de mate.
Equipo de mate.
Now, oddly enough, my friend Camilo doesn't drink mate, but he does play a mean guitar in a local punk band called Rudos Wild. Being the curious punk traveler, I asked Camilo to take me to meet the band.
Well, tell me a little bit about the punk scene in Uruguay. I know Uruguay is a small country, pero there seems to be a lot of people that like punk music. What is it like, man?
Una época.
O sea, la época que yo empecé y que él empezó conmigo, o sea, en diferentes bandas los dos, ¿no? Había escena de bandas hardcore, bandas punk, bandas straight edge, mucho de ese hardcore. Claro, yo empecé haciendo punk rock tipo Green Day, digo, punk rock melódico. Y después me parece que con una época que como que de California punk, de melodic punk of California era mucha influencia acá. La escena en Uruguay, yo lo que creo que en los 80 hubo un movimiento punk, que yo no lo viví, pero en sí Rudos Wild no tienen ninguna influencia de las bandas punk de Uruguay.
Amigo, so I see that you have a lot of tattoos. The Stray Cats, Social Distortion.
Mr. Kim, man. The only Kim.
And NOFX is another band. Uruguay is a little bit conservative, right? And is it difficult to be a punk rocker with tattoos?
Yo creo que eso con el tiempo cambió mucho, no solo acá en Uruguay, en Estados Unidos, en donde sea. Hace 20 años no lo hemos visto ahora. Como que hoy en día está aceptado ser punk.
Nunca digas nunca, pero hay excepciones. No toleramos, no aceptamos.
So someone told me that you do some impressions.
What you want? Your name is brother, like me.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, it's good. Good.
Oh, Robert De Niro. Excellent, man.
Good luck. You think I'm a funny guy? You have a problem with that? No.
No.
Okay,
All right.
it's good.
All right, good. What about Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we'll know something, dude.
Hey, man, if the music thing doesn't work out, I think you have a job doing impressions in the United States. But I have to say, I've heard Rudos Wild music. I think the music thing's gonna work out, man. So thanks for taking the time, guys, and keep up the good work, bro.
If you thought that only Brazil has a carnival in South America, well, we have a surprise for you. For an entire month, Uruguay celebrates with drums and dancing in the streets all night long. We'll learn about the African influence in this cultural expression, and later, we visit the tranquil and historic Colonia del Sacramento.
Montevideo is always fun, but in February it's really festive when Carnival is celebrated. But even if you're not visiting during Carnival, you can still get a taste of things at the Carnival Museum, located in the Old City. Distinct from other carnivals around the world, Uruguay's festival goes on for a little over a month. During this time, all around the country you can find revelers dancing to the beat of the candombe drum. Candombe is Uruguay's unique style of playing drums that originated when African slaves were calling for their freedom.
Uruguay's blend of cultures from Spain, Portugal, Brazil, and Argentina is unique, but they are not the only cultural influences. You don't have to look too closely to see the African influence as well. This expression of freedom is called las llamadas, or the calling, in essence, calling for freedom. Participants wear costumes that reflect the music's historical roots in slave times, such as sun hats and blackface paint. Enslaved Africans arrived in Montevideo's port during the early 1700s.
Aquí quedó un porcentaje importante de los africanos traídos por el puerto de Montevideo. Y si nos atenemos a lo que eran los censos oficiales, registramos por lo general desde la última década del siglo XVIII y las primeras décadas del siglo XIX, siempre el porcentaje de africanos, esclavizados o no, oscilaba entre el 30 y el 40% de la población. Es decir, era una población fuerte. Montevideo fue una ciudad donde la esclavitud fue mayoritaria en casi todas no en todas las familias, pero sí en la mayor cantidad de familias hubo esclavizados.
But as early as 1680, slaves worked in the coastal river town of Colonia del Sacramento. These early Africans brought with them their customs and music.
El candombe es un ritmo de raíces africanas que se afincó aquí en los esclavos, llegaron hasta estas latitudes. Es un ritmo muy particular que se toca con 3 tambores. Sus nombres son el piano, el chico y el repique. Son tocados individualmente por 3 personas. Cada tambor tiene una frase, tiene un tamaño, tiene una voz.
The origins of candombe come from the ceremonies called Los Reyes del Congo, or the Kings of Congo. The ethnic group that arrived to neighboring Brazil and Argentina were the Bantu people, and these were the creators of candombe. Even as far away as the remote city of Arica, Chile, you can find similarities among these types of drums. In Chile, they were used at celebrations called Tumba Carnival. If you visit Uruguay, it probably won't surprise you that around 88% of the population is of European descent. But almost 6% of the population is directly descended from Africa, and almost one person in every 10 has some kind of African lineage.
Somos pocos los afrodescendientes en Argentina, somos más bien vistos como una rareza dentro de una población de millones de personas donde la afrodescendencia es mínima. En cambio acá en Uruguay es algo donde la minoría es mucho más significativa, es el 10% de la población.
When traveling through Uruguay, keep your eye out and your ears open, and you'll notice plenty of cultural customs that have their roots in Africa.
En lo que es la cultura afro-uruguaya hay múltiples tradiciones. En el área, por ejemplo, que tiene que ver con la mujer y con el candombe, que es la expresión por excelencia que nos representa en Uruguay y en el mundo, podemos ver diferentes símbolos, desde el cuidado que tiene la mamá vieja, que es aquella que representa a la mujer sabia, a la madre de la nación africana, todo lo que ellas usan en su vestuario, sus colores claros, sus aretes, la combinación de colores de representación a sus dioses, el sincretismo, el tema de los candomberos con sus diferentes símbolos, las cintas que se utilizan en las piernas representando los latigazos. La idea de toda esta cuestión de la preservación es también darle conocimiento.
Originally, I started traveling to handle stress in the everyday work world, and I would just escape for as long as I could, just try to get lost, and it worked. But what I noticed is as time went by, I needed more and more travel. It was driven out of a desire to see the world, to see other cultures, to meet new people, and to enrich my own life, really. Yeah, the reality is it does not take a lot of money to travel. It's really just a matter of freeing your mind from what you think your obligations are and looking on the internet, researching, and, you know, maybe realigning your expectations a little bit.
My journey through Uruguay continues. Did you know Uruguay shares credit for the tango with Argentina? But don't get it twisted. This is not an accordion, it's a bandoneon. And it's harder than it looks. And later, we bus it to the once bloody, but now beautiful and tranquil border town of Colonia del Sacramento. To me, the Uruguayan flag is one of the most beautiful in all the world. It was reportedly inspired by combining the flags of Argentina and the United States of America. But it also carries deep meaning. Freedom or death is Uruguay's motto. Its code of honor has a combination of elements. The sun represents strength. The laurel and olive branches symbolizes honor and peace. Equality and justice is embodied by the scale on the left, while the castle on the upper right-hand corner shows the fortress and independence founded in Montevideo. The galloping horse represents liberty, while the ox is a symbol of abundance of good things. The prominent sun is the son of May and is an icon that represents the Inca son of God, Inti. The 9 blue and white stripes signify the 9 original departments in Uruguay.
Uruguay shares credit with Argentina for the origins of tango, and I'm here in an old antique bandoneon store, which is the main instrument used in tango. So I'm here with Mario, the owner, who has a collection of bandoneons from the 1920s and 30s, which he refurbishes. He also has accordions, which for you guys who don't know, is very different from a bandoneon.
The bandoneon originated in Germany and was originally used to replace the organ in religious music in the 1800s.
¿Cuánto tiempo necesito por refurbish?
Y según,
Depende.
si es solo afinar, de repente una semana, así poniéndole, pero da mucho trabajo. A veces un repaso, no es una afinación completa, porque tantos años de vibrar se puede ir aflojando el remache. Entonces, para que quede bien la afinación hay que sacar todo, remachar todas las voces, poner los cueritos y después recién empezar a afinar. Bueno, este bandoneón, si no tiene precio, este yo no lo vendo.
Restoring these precious instruments is not an easy task. It's a process that can take months. Mario replaces leather parts, tunes the bandoneon, and sometimes has to create pieces from scratch. After these musical works of art are fully refurbished, they can sell anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 US. So I decided to give it a try.
How's that?
Guess I won't quit my day job just yet.
Oh, man.
Don't flip now. We're heading to the outskirts of Montevideo to visit the historic town of Colonia del Sacramento. And then it's just a short boat ride across the River Plate to hang out in the neighboring bustling metropolis of Buenos Aires.
It's natural to feel uptight before a big trip, especially to a new destination. Here are some tips that may help you feel a little safer before your next adventure. Number one, do your research. You know, guidebooks are great, but for the latest information, I like to jump on the internet and see what any potential dangers or annoyances may be happening at my destination. Also, I like to dress down, maybe leave the watch and the fancy bling at home. Not only will you feel a little bit safer, but you might feel more at ease around people who don't have as much. And as far as flagging a taxi, well, in some places it's okay to flag a taxi from the street. In other places, you may want your hotel or hostel to call one for you, especially at night. Each place is different, so do your research before you go. And finally, use common sense. You know, there's no substitute for common sense, and if something doesn't feel right, don't do it. Fear can be your friend, but don't let it ruin your trip.
Colonia del Sacramento is a popular stop for people traveling to and from Montevideo and Buenos Aires.
Colonia is Uruguay's oldest town. It's very historic and romantic and just a couple of hours from Montevideo. You can stroll around town or climb up the light tower for a view of the River Plate that separates Uruguay and Argentina.
I read about Colonia del Sacramento doing some research, you know, when I was traveling, and I saw that basically there's a lot of history here. There's a lot of old buildings. Even though it was founded by the Portuguese, the Spanish and the British fought for control of the area, and there was a lot of bloodshed here, and that history interested me, so I wanted to come here and check it out. It's a very peaceful and tranquil place.
I'm not sure what's more famous, the legendary Buenos Aires River Plate soccer team or the actual river. Well, the River Plate, or Rio de la Plata, is a 180-mile-long funnel coming from the Atlantic Ocean. I guess technically it's not a river, but it is one of the most important bodies of water connecting these two countries.
Crossing the River Plate is quick and easy if you hop on one of the ferries. In less than an hour, you can get from Colonia to downtown Buenos Aires. It's a cool ride because you're coming from this historic, tranquil little town into a big metropolitan city with skyscrapers, lots of people, and traffic. Oh boy, this reminds me of New York City.
If you're craving the excitement of a big, bustling metropolitan city, then Buenos Aires is the spot for you. But if you want city sophistication and relaxation, then for my money, a trip to Montevideo and Uruguay is simply sublime. There is plenty to eat, drink, see, and do in Montevideo. But if you want to just veg out and work on your tan, you don't even have to leave the city limits. It has a plethora of interesting history, musical, and cultural influences galore. And of course, that magical ingredient that makes travel to almost any destination a joy: the friendly and hospitable Uruguayan people. Up next, a special bonus segment featuring an interview with the legendary punk band NOFX as they discuss their music and fanatic following in Latin America.
My name is Fat Mike. I play in the punk rock band called NOFX.
Me llamo El Jefe. I play guitar for the band.
Anywhere but here, please don't make us leave. When in Minnesota and you got a drinking quota.
For those who know punk music,
Who's not familiar with punk music? Everyone knows punk music.
NOFX has been a leader on the punk rock scene since the 1980s. Funny and irreverent, NOFX doesn't shy away from mining cultural identity as material for their music and their interviews.
We both have olive skin, so you know, go ahead and call me Latino, whatever race.
I'm part Aztec. He's Mexican, and I'm more Mexican.
He's a lot more Mexican than
He's
me.
Jewish, and I'm kind of Jew-ish.
I love stereotyping.
Leave it alone. Follow the grain. We couldn't stop the irresistible force. Leave it.
All jokes aside, these legendary U.S. punks don't hesitate acknowledging the Latino influence in their music.
Yeah, I know I hear the Mexicans, okay. Being Latino influences me in a special kind of a way. Good Lord, I have too many frijoles, excuse me. I learned to play the trumpet Latino style, mariachi style horn. My mother played a lot of mariachi music for me as a child growing up.
That influence has translated into legions of loyal fans from all over the world, but especially Latin America.
There's more Latino punk kids than any other. A lot more than the Jewish punk kids, I'll tell you that for sure. We played in Mexico too. We played where? Guadalajara, Mexico City, Chile, Brazil, Peru, Argentina. People are insane. Absolutely
crazy.
Insane. You know, like this bruise I got here. You know, you should come home from a punk show with one of those. You need bruises. If you don't feel it the next day, you couldn't have had that much fun.
Like any good punk band, NOFX is fiercely independent, and having sold several million records, the band parlayed their success into a San Francisco-based record label, Fat Records, which hosts an impressive roster of punk bands.
When you do everything yourself, things go better because no one's ripping you off. So you gotta put in the work, but it's the way to go. 99% of bands sell to a major label, some kind of label, and there's always a manager or a lawyer or someone with their hand in your pocket. So it's hard to be that successful when it's like that. I want to stick it to the man. I don't want to get it stuck to me.
With fans all over the world, millions of records sold, and their own record label, the guys from NOFX still don't consider themselves rock stars.
No, we're not rock stars. You know, we stay in Holiday Inn Express or wherever. You know, we're not staying in fancy places. We sleep on the bus a lot. I think we write pretty good songs, and we're honest with people. We don't fool people. We don't have gimmicks or some weird image.
There's no special effects with our band. There's no FX at all.
Lunatic fans and cheap hotels. What's so great about being famous?
We're a lot wealthier now, I'd say.
A lot.
A lot wealthier.
A lot. I live next door to a dentist now.